Homelessness rises 12% in Los Angeles County, study finds. I don't know over
that should be conflated also with just the city of Los Angeles. I mean, there's about 12 or 13.
Los Angeles County, yeah.
Yeah, there's about 12 or 13 million people that live in the county, something like that, or maybe 9, 10 million.
The number of homeless people counted across Los Angeles County jumped 12% over the past year.
That's crazy.
That's an insane jump over a year.
Yeah.
To nearly 59,000, with more young and old residents and families on the streets, officials said Tuesday. The majority of the homeless were found within the city of Los Angeles, which saw a 16% increase to 36,300.
So there's about
the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority said in presenting January's annual court, to the Board of Supervisors. What were you saying, Scotty?
Los Angeles County, as of 2017, had 10.16 million people. But it's almost the same number of people live in Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, so we're talking about a huge, a 10% increase is massive.
And, I think I've talked about this kind of thing before, but you guys have been to L.A., but a lot of people haven't. And, if you haven't been there, you don't understand the scope of what these numbers mean, because numbers are very obfuscating sometimes. I mean, you can look at this and go it's up 12%, but to visualize that in a place like L.A. that's already rife with
I don't know why.
Imagine how many more people are just living in vans on the streets.
The AP really dropped the ball using this stupid picture of this kid skateboarding.
Well, I think it's a homeless kid that's living in this.
Well, I think they're just showing that there's a homeless guy sitting there right next.
Let's see the other images.
In the park, yeah.
So this guy just lived.
Okay, now this is the kind of stuff that they really need to be showing people is these goddamn tent. Like, people living in tents on the goddamn sidewalk and shit.
I'm telling you, when
people living under little tent cities springing up under every overpass and shit, or whatever.
I know I've talked about this before, but I think it's pertinent. Like, when we went to L.A. that first time for the first DP meetup, Beyond Fear was here from Australia.
Yeah.
And she had heard about the homeless problem, but we were driving somewhere. I don't know. We'd gotten an Uber, and we were taking it downtown somewhere to do something. I think to go to the museum. And we started hitting these overpasses, just like this. We're literally over and under them, and all around them on any grassy, flat surface, they're just tents and homeless people and bedrolls. And she's like, what is this? Like, are they camping? Like, is this like some kind of group? And I was like, no, these people don't have anywhere to live. She was like, you gotta be kidding me. She couldn't believe that such a huge city had unaddressed problems like that. But I mean, so you have to visualize not only how huge LA County is, it's just a massive fucking pile of people all on top of each other, but to have a rise of over 10% in the amount of people that are already living in tent cities and bedrolls in the park, and it is fucking insane.
It's just, and there's a number of problems that
look at this.
Exacerbate this too. It's mountainous, so there's not much land to build on. The housing prices are already super high in California, so it's a fucking perfect storm of just bad factors that make it unaffordable for so many people to live there. And I mean, I'm not sure how many people come from other parts of the country to live there, but it's just astonishing to see a 12% rise. And like you said, to actually put that into people, that's thousands of more people sleeping in conditions like this.
Right. And I don't really know that this is necessarily a function of LA's price, because I got to be honest with you, at the lower levels, this is an unaddressed mental health crisis. That's what you're looking at right here. You're not. I mean, you are looking at a pile of garbage.
A lot of it's unaffordability.
That the city is going to have to fucking pick up at some point. But when you look at these pictures, you're looking at an unaddressed mental health catastrophe in this fucking country. A profound amount of these people here are not down and out losers that just decided to walk away from their lives and live on the dole. These are mentally ill people that have nowhere to turn.
Yeah.
And can't support themselves. They can't work a normal job. They end up in the system, and when they come out, they got nobody, and they end up here.
Why do you think so many of them end up in just because it's a population center?
Yes. You just said, did you look up the actual numbers of LA County's population? What was it again?
About 10 million people.
10 fucking million people. All on top of each other with a huge unaddressed mental health crisis in one of the most quote-unquote liberal states in the country.
And richest parts of the country.
And one of the richest areas. You go to LA, you will see opulence like you'll never see.
It's the fifth, isn't it like the fifth largest economy in the world is California?
California itself, if it separated out right now and became its own country, I think you're right. I think it's the fourth or fifth largest economy in the world. It could just be its own thing.
Yeah. So check this out. This is an overpass. This is just a bridge, an overpass here.
Yep.
And basically, a lot of people are just using it as a ceiling, because they don't have anywhere to get out of the rain and whatever elements. I mean, there's not too much rain in LA, or the sun, whatever.
As horrible as this is, New York has the same kind of problem, but they have more horrible places for people to invade. Old abandoned subway tunnels, old abandoned water mains that have been replaced with modern ones, abandoned sewer tunnels. People live literally in places where they never see the sun. They go out at night, rifle through the garbage, trying to find enough to eat, panhandle a little bit, go underground at night, and just live in fucking absolute dungeons. This right here, in comparison to that, is probably nice.
Yeah. Plus, in New York, they have homeless people have a lot more elements to deal with.
I mean, yeah.
LA doesn't tend to be too.
At least LA has nice weather. I guess you can say that.
Dude, in the summer, it's got to be brutal in fucking LA.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
100 degrees outside, no air conditioning. You do the fucking math. In the winter, it's brutal too. It's cold. So, yeah, they don't got it easy. Living in the streets might be, weather-wise, it might be nice 2 or 3 months out of the year. Where it's like, ooh, it's sunny, but most of the time you're either sweating or freezing.
Because New York in the winter.
Yeah, New York is dead-ass freezing.
That's what I'm saying.
Because Paul talked about them, here are the cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
Chuds, man.
The delicious chuds.
Coming to a city near you.
Yeah, man. I don't know, dude. Holy fuck. Yeah, it just... when I read shit like this, it just feels like society collapsing in slow motion. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm right. I feel like I'm right when I say, like, when people go like, when's the dystopia?
You know what was weird about the movie Chud? Because I just watched it recently with Joe Bob Briggs hosting it. This is kind of a digression, but just a real quick point here. Is there's a moment in the movie where the main character confronts one of, like, the city people who've been hiding this.
Yes.
And they're like, Chud doesn't stand for cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller. You're hiding what's really going on. It actually stands for contamination hazard urban disposal. And I'm like, cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller is way worse to me than contamination has. Like, that's the stupidest twist ever.
Well, when we lived in the Seattle area, dude, homelessness is a huge problem there, too. I mean, like... I know that a number of cities have tried to combat this.
The funny thing is, I tried to talk to conservatives about this. Like I did this thing when I was on Twitter, and I was like, Trump's tweeted "Keep America Great," and I was just like, we got a lot of there's homeless tent cities across America and shit. Every major city, you see homeless people everywhere.
Yeah,
and the response of the conservatives there in the comments,
get a job.
No, it was like, yeah, well, all them cities is Democrat run.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so if they were Republican run, then I would see these homeless cities disappear.
Yes.
Yeah, so kick them out.
So what substantive plan do they have to deal with?
Kick them out.
Kick them out.
And okay.
Get on down the road.
So brush it under the fucking rug. Well, then we don't have to look at it no more. Basically what Giuliani did to clean up New York and shit.
Well, let me tell you what, dude. That happens here anyway, in liberal cities too. That's the plan here too. These places that you look, these places are only tolerated in places, look above it, places that people that live in the nice areas of LA drive over and through to get to their businesses. That's where this shit is tolerated. It happened when I lived in Bellevue. I lived in downtown Bellevue. And during the day, you would see homeless folks sitting on the benches, panhandling out in front of businesses. At night, if it got like there were 2 or 3, I'd see 2 or 3 homeless folks out. Something would happen at night, and the next day they'd all be gone. People just get ushered out. They get disappeared into the system and shit. So because you don't see these kind of tent cities in Brentwood. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
But here's the thing. People try to go to Brentwood. These people are always looking for more wide open spaces and better economies and stuff to like set up in and away from this. What happens when somebody like stumbles into Brentwood and sets up a little pallet somewhere? At night, he's disappeared. Who knows where he fucking goes? He's just taken out. I'm not saying they're killing him. I'm just saying he's brought back here.
Yeah, LAPD gives him a free courtesy ride back to the fucking homeless camps.
It's just like horrible. This is like and that's how people don't deal with this. That's how the people with the money don't deal with this. Usher it back to a place that I just only see in passing.
Because it's a really complex problem. There's not just some easy answer. Because it's not just like, build these people a house. That's not the answer.
No, absolutely. Well, no, it's like I said, it's a mental health problem. If you give these people a house, it'll be a heroin den with holes in the walls in a second. And I'm not trying to impugn these people. I'm just saying you can't solve this by giving these people money. That's not the problem here. It's part of it.
For some, I'm sure it is.
I mean, economic disparity plays a role here, but the real role here, because we have a safety net that a person that has a mind that functions can use to parlay into another job. The people that end up here are people that can't.
Yeah.
And if you don't address that, you may as well just cordon off some land and let people live on it. Because that's all you do.
I mean, almost be better off at that point doing that. Just like, yep, you guys have a chunk of land.
I look for that to be the case. I look for that to be a solution to some of this. They're just going to take some development, have the city or the state buy it up, and just make a big homeless camp. And that's where they take every. Does it look like anything else to you as you see them ushered into denser and denser pockets of downtown and places that are like these are recognized by the city as homeless camps?
Yeah. Well, they
and
are
not torn down. Well, they are torn down. That's the thing. Every once in a while, the city comes through and tears everything down.
Yeah, enough people complain. Hey, this is an eyesore. Get them out of here.
It's fucked. I can only see it going that way. I don't know. You got any other ideas?
We see it in a lot of parts of the world, too. I mean, we've seen it happen in Europe with all these migrants. I mean, it's just, it seems to be just a thing that when we don't have an answer for this, people just form these like little shanty towns, and that's just where they live. And like you said, until the law enforcement area kicks them out and they go somewhere else and they just come back and do the exact same thing again. It's just a cycle that, we don't seem to be able to. It seems like humanity has some failings with this. Like, we don't know how to deal with it, so we just kind of ignore it and just say, well, they're homeless people and I'm not, so it's not my problem.
Yeah. Clearly.